Alright, so what I'm going to show you here is how to remove likes of these scuff marks from this sort of wood. Now this will work for any wood really if you get the colours about right. So what you're going to need is something with white spirit in it, maybe a dye like this or just plain white spirit. One of these paint repair kits, as long as they're like some sort of chemical base rather than water based, they'll work fine. A wad, which you just make up, try and make it up from something that's pretty hard wearing but at the same time not too absorbent, like this yellow and blue cloth that you often find for wipes, throwaway wipes and stuff. Try not to use tissue, it absorbs too much of the white spirit. Now you pick a pen that's fairly close to the colour you want, maybe slightly darker. In fact, you'll be very hard pushed to find anything that's lighter than this yellow pine here. That's why I do it this way, because there's no, you actually need a yellow or mustard coloured felt pen to do this properly and quickly, but there isn't such a thing. So, well, there maybe is such a thing, but not in the kits I use. So I'm going to set this up and show you what I do. First I'll explain it dry run style. First thing you do is get your wad, get a little bit of white spirit on it, rub the area that you want to get rid of the scuffs with. Then after you've done that, put in a bit of the felt pen and then quickly rub it. Now you're only putting in little dabby areas, because if you put in too much at one go, it'll dry out, the pen will dry out before you can work on it. Do little bits at a time, little dit, rub, dit, rub, dit, rub, and just keep doing that. Then let it dry out. Now, the first time you might not get the shade quite right, so you repeat this process again of little dit, rub, little dit, rub, and you'll maybe have to do that 3 times in all to get rid of a scuff, so it's practically invisible. You don't have to get totally invisible, by the way, because remember, you know where the mark is, other folk don't. So you'll see it and notice it, but other folk looking at your work, they won't see it, because like I say, they don't know where to look for the scuff marks. Anyway, I'll try and set this phone up and show you what it looks like. And here we go. So first, rub it to get it slightly wet so that this absorbs into any wood or anything that might be too absorbent for the darker felt pen. Then we're going to do a little dib here. Rub it quickly. Don't rub it, you don't have to rub it hard, just rub it quickly, just to spread it out. I have to tell you, this is the 3rd application I've done of this, so I'm getting very close to getting rid of the marks altogether, getting rid of these scuff marks altogether. And literally seconds between putting on and rubbing. You can't do it any longer than that, or you'll leave the felt pen will absorb into the varnish and you'll never get rid of the dark of the felt pen. There we go. This area, I don't know if you can notice it, this area here, I didn't rub it hard enough, quick enough, so I've actually got a slightly darker area there, and because it's dried, it'll be a swine to get rid of, but it's better that way than lighter, because you will notice lighter shades than darker shades. I've got another good example right here. I wonder if I can turn the pen so you can see. Hold on, it's right there. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. But that's a really bad scuff, so rub it. Pen. Rub it. See, that's got through to bare wood, so I've got a darker area now, so I don't need this pen anymore. If anything, I'm going to have to use a bit more thinner to actually rub that out. But mind you, though, it looks a bit like a knot hole, so it'll look fortunate that I can just leave it like that on this sort of piney wood. Anyway, here's another area I'm not happy with, so rub it. See, yeah, it's still got a fair bit of spirit in there. Rub it. A little bit of pen, rub quick. Rub quick. It's very hard to do this on corners, by the way. I must tell you that beforehand. Getting rid of marks on corners is a nightmare, but it can be done this way if you've just got a bit of patience and you've got the materials to hand. See, that's dried into an open bit of wood there, so you can see a little mark. Again, we'll just leave it and we'll live with that. It's better than, a lot better than it was. I've done the whole cupboard like this now. That's why I'm doing the bottom rather than showing you something at the top, because I've done the whole top area already. Anyway, hope that helps. Right, so next part of this project was to cover all the tiny little scratches and dents above the top edge of the door and along the area where, you know, folk have grabbed hold of it with their fingers and their nails gone into it or a ring's gone into it and created a score. Now unfortunately I didn't take a picture before because I've done all the filling ready for the next stage. So what I've done is I've used this kind of wood filler. It doesn't matter really what kind of wood filler it is, because this system I'm going to use tends to remove the dye from the filler. But don't worry about that, because the filler is being used, as I say, as a scratch filler rather than a gap filler. So I'm going to try and set up this camera now to let you see what I'm doing. Right, so I've got it all set up now. Hopefully that camera won't fall off the ledge. What you'll need now is a sanding block, something very flat. I sometimes use a wood block, which is a bit longer for what I'm going to do next, because you want to remove as little of the filler as possible, but make a flat rub with it. I've seen already there's a few scratches here I've missed out. Damn it. I should really go and fill these, but just to get this video over with, I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Right, so watering. Now the whole idea of using the water is to make it so that the fine rubbing paste, the whole idea of using water is to make it so that it helps, the water helps distribute the filler a bit more and fills in some more cracks and divots. See how I'm hardly rubbing at all, I'm hardly putting any pressure on this at all. I'm trying to make it so that, and I will do it all over to make it even, so you can see yourself. The motion is very, very leisurely. Not rubbing hard, I'm letting it work all over the area. If I rub hard, I'll only land up taking filler out of the divots I'm trying to clean out. There we go. I think that'll do. Now the temptation would be to rub this off right now, but really what you want to do is wait until this is totally dry, then rub it out. The reason for that is that this particular type of wood filler needs to dry out completely for it to go hard. If you rub it right now to try and remove this slurry that's on the top, you'll end up taking the filler out of the grooves and divots as well. So leave it to go hard. Now what I'll do tomorrow is when it's totally dry, I'll get a towel like you'd use for drying yourself, or a kitchen towel, something like that, and rub off the powdery excess that's on the surface. Don't rub too hard, but just keep rubbing, long rubbing strokes, and eventually all that will be left behind is the filler that's in the divots and cracks that are sitting here. If you have got some of the filler that hasn't gone into the divots and cracks, repeat the process again. Yes, it means it takes a long time to get the surface totally flat and prepped, but really it's a quicker way than it's a less messy way than trying to use 2-pack varnishes and levelers and stuff like that, and a lot more inexpensive as well, may I say. Okay, right, done with that.